to the channel. We're back on our project cart that I've named Mr. Rogers. I've got a lot I want to get done today, so come along for the ride. Let's get started. Alright, so here we are. Basically have done nothing since the last video other than put it up on jack stands. Really could use probably one more pressure wash just because we were running out of light and missed a few spots, but I'll have to just maybe do that tomorrow. It's already dark again here tonight. But what I want to get done today, get the wheels pulled off. I'm still undecided if I'm going to do wheels and tires or just tires, but that can be decided later. This front end, I think I told you in the last video, this is completely locked up. It won't even pivot on there. Everything is just super rusty. You know, wheel bearings are growly. So I've got a whole front suspension that I saved from another project that I want to swap over. I also bought shocks, just some cheap ones on Amazon. I think they'll be just fine. And I want to get those on the front, and then I got new wheel bearings. So I'm going to start with that. I might even pop this off and just give it a shot of spray paint. Not that you really see it, but I see it and I know it's there. You'll see this if you look up under the wheel well, and that's pretty cruddy looking. So might just give that a quick shot of, with the wire wheel and spray paint. And then I kind of want to get the floor and everything set in so we can put some of the electronics in and see if this thing even works. I got kind of carried away in the last episode and didn't even test anything. We just tore it down and hoping everything works. I've got a pile of parts over there with the electronics and stuff, but we could just, you know, kind of set everything in there and plug it in and see if we've got forward and reverse at least. So let's get started with this front end and get that pulled off. Okay, so just a quick update. Decided to pull the 4 bolts and pull that dash support bar off. I got the suspension completely off. That's just I think 6 bolts plus the shocks, obviously, and you got to pull the rack and pinion out. I thought I was going to have to get a new rack and pinion, but actually this one I can turn with my fingers, and the tie rod ends seem good. Excuse me, and all that. I thought I would just pull these 4 bolts out and take this whole support system off and get that cleaned up and painted a little bit, but it is really seized on there, and rather than fight and scratch and claw with it, I'm just going to kind of mask off with tape a little bit and clean this up and hit it right where it sits, just to save some time. And like I said, you really don't see it, but I just want to touch it up a little bit, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, just a quick little touch-up. We could get real crazy with this cart and polish this frame and do all kinds of stuff, but like I keep saying, this is meant to be, you know, a budget build, and normally I don't even paint these. It's just, it was looking kind of cruddy, and it only takes a few minutes to touch it up. A lot of you, I know, are wondering what kind of paint I use, and I think I even had someone message me and ask me, and I use this Seymour MRO, and I just want to pause here for a second and talk about this. Normally spray paint goes on and you got to be real careful and it'll run and you'll get, you know, all kinds of problems. I get the flat black, as you can see, and you can literally just spritz this on and it dries almost instantly. It's very durable. You can paint over, you know, grease and just whatever, and it'll stick to anything. So it's fantastic, and it's a little bit more pricey. It's probably, I'm trying to remember, maybe about $8 or something, and it goes a long way. I think I did almost a whole E-Z-Go frame on just 1 can, or maybe like a can and a half. So highly recommend it. I'm still going to do that, but I just wanted to pause for a second and talk about that. Alright, so it's the next day and we're back on it here. Got the Painting is all dry, of course. That dries almost instantly. I think I might have said that. But back onto these plastic pieces, and sorry for all the noise. We're still in a neighborhood under construction, but this I'm going to hit with the trim and bumper paint. This thing is really wore, but most of it you won't see. There's a scratch there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but just from taking this thing and mud running with it, all that dirt was built up underneath the plastic. Of course, all that's hidden, but I just wanted to show you what happens when you take your golf carts in the mud. So we'll hit this with the trim and bumper paint. Overall, it's in pretty decent shape for a budget build. It does have a little crack here, which someday I'm gonna teach myself how to do a repair on that. I've seen some guys do that. These are about, well, they used to be, I don't know if they still are, about $250, $260 at the dealer. If this was a cart, you know, we were putting a lot into, this would definitely get a new rear body and save that one for more of a budget build. But being that this is a budget build, that's what we're going to use. I've got parts strewn all over the yard here, and most of this is going to get either touched up with paint or cleaned. Well, most of it is clean, I guess. The floorboard, that's going to get hit with paint in the parts that you'll see, and I am going to hit this with some paint. This is just that. This is probably the heaviest piece on the whole cart. You can see the dirt still falling out of it, but I scuffed it just a little bit. Nothing fancy. We're going to spray that. Spray these pieces. And one thing I did want to show you, and I'll take you inside. Alright, so when I built the new house, I had this put in. This is the dog wash, okay? But I knew I would use this more for cleaning parts probably than anything. So I'm able to take these small pieces with a scrub brush and just come in here and get these nice and clean, and then put them out in the sun and let them dry. So that's super handy, and I'm going to be using that pretty regularly. So I just wanted to show you that. Alright, got most of the under dash pieces done. Got the underbody done. Got that done underneath the dash where you'll see. Obviously the rest of that doesn't need to be painted because you'll never see it. Do still have to do the bumper and probably the underside of that, which you'll see a little bit. Rocker panels, I'm probably going to order new ones. I stopped at the dealer. They used to be like 18 bucks a piece, and they went up to 80 some dollars for a pair. So I'm going to look around online and see if I can find something. Thought I had a ton of bumper paint, and I only had like one full can, and then a bunch of like half cans. I still got to paint that, so I'm probably not going to have enough paint. Great, which means another trip into town. But none of that really has to be done, you know, right now. So mainly this floorboard needed to be done, so I can get that in. That's a different kind of paint, so I don't have to worry about that. And I was going to paint in this battery box just because it's, you know, got years of whatnot in there. I could get in there with a scrub brush and clean, but this paint works so good you can just paint right over the top of everything. And you know, I like taking shortcuts, so that'll be great. Alright, let's let that dry a little bit. Let me hit this with some paint and figure out what I'm going to do with the battery box. Alright, while that's drying a little bit, which doesn't take long, I carried in the floorboard, which I'm going to get to here shortly. I'm thinking about this rod right here, which is all corroded. That's actually what your battery tie-down is hooked to, and then kind of pulls everything together. It looks like they put it in before they put the frame together. So what I'm thinking about doing is drilling this out just a little bit bigger and sliding that out. The reason being, doing a lead, you know, lithium conversion from lead acid, we're not going to use that, and that thing is just going to rattle around in there. Now I could take, you know, some black tape or something and put it off to one side, and it would probably be okay, but I don't like doing things halfway, and if it's not needed, why not take it out? So probably going to punch a hole in there quick and slide that out. The other option would be to split the frame, which, you know, don't really need to do that because we're not going any further. So I think I'll do that. and then we'll start maybe with some of these front end components, getting that back together, and yeah, go from there. One thing I wanted to show you all on these brakes, you know, these things almost never need replacement. They wear like iron, and you don't really have to worry about too much. However, they do get noisy from sitting. So what I like, and I don't know if I've ever shown you this, but to clean that up, you can actually pull these drums off of here. You can clean that up a little bit with some sandpaper if you'd like, or a die grinder if you have one. Hit these with brake clean, and then just blow them off with air. You know, if they do need adjustment, you can give them a couple clicks, but 9 times out of 10, just put it back together, and you can do all your adjustment up by the pedal. It's a lot easier that way. So, just wanted to show you that. Okay, got that all done. One thing I did fail to mention, does make a pretty big mess. If you can do it outside, that's probably a better option, but look at all the crud that was in those brakes. So that'll definitely, some of that's mud, some of that's brake dust, but that'll definitely help with the noise. Took the drums off and stuck them outside. Of course, you don't want to paint the insides, but just clean up the outside a little bit. That way when you got some of these aluminum wheels, you can see right through and see the hub. So that way that'll be black. And I know I'm getting pretty fussy on a budget build here, but I've got it all tore down, so why not? Did get the front suspension back in. I've got to drop the 4 bolts in there yet. I did get that rod pulled out of there. I just drilled a hole and had to clean that off a little bit so it would fit through. Pulled that out, so that's out of our way. I could get crazy and start, you know, painting all this suspension up, but I think we're going to skip that for right now. And get this floor set down in here and kind of go from there. Alright, a couple things done off camera. Just got things kind of sitting on here, the floor. I did go ahead and shoot some paint into this battery box. This is really the only area that'll get seen when you flip the seat up. Of course, you could spend, you know, days and days and days cleaning this thing, which, you know, that's up to you. It's certainly not going to hurt anything and gives you a sense of pride. This one, like I said, is meant to just be kind of a quick flip, and I've already got just a ton of time in it. So we're not going to get too detailed with that. This positive end is absolutely terrible, so I'm going to replace that. I've got a crimping tool and everything to be able to do that. I could actually come back here and do just do the whole cable, but I'll probably just throw an end on there. The wiring, just got to button everything back up onto the motor, plug the speed sensor in. I did see some concerning things here, like this bolt is loose on the solenoid. Looks like it's been arcing on there. Somebody may have replaced it. These ends on the tow run switch look a little concerning, so I may put new ends on there. And then we've got some cut wires down here where it looks like somebody was trying to splice something in, so I definitely got to address that. And if I didn't say it already, this one's getting the bigbattery.com conversion. And if that's something you're interested in, I've got other videos out there where I've done conversions. Of course, we're going to do one on this, and I'll walk you through it on that. And if it's something you're looking for your own cart, head on over to bigbattery.com and use my promo code STEGGY10, and save yourself 10%. So it's a good savings on that. They also offer no sales tax if you're outside the state of California, so that's helpful. Okay, so we're going to drop that in. I got to button up a couple of wiring, like I said, the butt connectors and things like that. I'm going to just kind of set the dash wiring up in here. My main concern is I haven't checked anything on this electrical wise, and I want to make sure it's going to go forward and reverse and do what it's supposed to. So let me address these couple concerns, get my motor button back up, and we'll get that big battery down in here. Okay, now I've got my bigbattery.com battery set down in there, and in case you're wondering, that is what they call the Falcon. I think it's called the Falcon Elite. It's a 48 volt single bank battery. You don't have to series 2 together or anything like that. It's a new one they came out with here a month or so ago. We're going to give that one a whirl. I believe it's about 60 amp hour battery, which is, you know, it's not the most you can get. Obviously you can get a Husky and get like a 105 or something like that, but for running around the neighborhood, this is going to give us like 25-30 miles on a charge. That is perfectly fine for this cart, and plus it's a lot less expensive. So alright, so how do you hook up the big battery? And here you might be a little bit puzzled, because you say, okay, here's my positive and negative, I understand that. There's no studs on this battery. Well, it comes with this. This is an Anderson plug, or what I refer to as an Anderson plug. Maybe it's called something else. Plug that in, and then you've got a lead on there. We're going to run our leads over, and what I did is I jumped on Amazon and I picked up these two studs, positive and negative stud, and we're going to mount those right here, and we're going to bring our original leads from our cart, our positive and negative, and then we're going to attach onto that the ones from our Anderson plug from our big battery, and that's going to give us all the power we need. And then also for our charger, we'll do something similar, and I'll show you that here a little later on. But for now, we're just trying to see if this thing is even going to make noise or move or do anything. So I'm just going to kind of temporarily hook that up. You can see provisions on the bottom there for the brackets. So they supply the brackets. You put the supplied screwed into the side, and then you can just either you know, drill through the plastic here and fasten it down, or like self-tappers, just so it's not sliding around in there. Obviously it's not super heavy, but you don't want it sliding around and something to come loose. So those are also provided. I misplaced them at the moment, but they're here somewhere, and we'll get that bolted in once we know everything works and runs. But for right now, I'm going to put my two studs in and put some power to this thing and see what happens. Alright, so that's pretty straightforward. One thing I did realize, this kit didn't come with the little caps to put over the top of the studs, which would probably be a good idea if you're ordering some. Make sure they got the little caps that go over to keep everything protected. I do need to put some heat shrink on my positive yet. I didn't do that. But as far as I can tell, everything is good to go. The one thing I did not do was anything with that wire right there, and I didn't get a schematics out to see what that is. But before we go and start splicing things together, let's see what we got, and then we can test some voltages and do that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the circuit breaker on our big battery. Sunlight's shining in, hopefully you can see that. 53.3 it looks like, and that's going to give us voltage here. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Probably not. Bear with me just a second while I try to hold the camera. And 53.1 at the stud. So that's good. It is in the tow run position, so let's flip to the run position. Turn our key on. Let's try reverse, see if we got a reverse buzzer. Okay, no reverse buzzer. Interesting. Okay, we've got movement. So that's good. Let's go back to reverse. Okay, there's our buzzer. And we've got reverse. So kind of what I suspected. What I will do is I'll pull the schematics up and see what's going on with that wire. Like I said, I don't want to go and wire anything up if it's not, if it's something that somebody else added in or what, because I didn't follow the wire to see where it goes. So if you're watching this video to learn on the lithium conversion, that's basically it, with the exception of the charger, like I said, which I'll show you a little later on. It might not be in this video, but if you can get this far, you can certainly get the charger. In fact, I could probably go over that real quick. Just in case that's why you're watching this. So on the charger, still in the box here obviously, is another Anderson plug. Now the one thing that does not come in the kit is a third Anderson plug. So if you were to charge this battery the way they say, you're going to unplug that every time and plug this in and charge it. Now that's not really necessary, because we can run a third one off of here and have a plug in, and we're just going to plug in to that to charge our battery and eliminate having to reach down in there and try to unplug that and get your fingers in there and plug it in. So if there's anything that I would recommend is getting you a third one of these and the stud so you can do your charging. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's episode. Got quite a bit done actually, and the sun's starting to go down, so it might be time to button things up for today. But on the next episode, we're going to dig into, I did get new headlights for this, and we got to button up the front end, put the body on, and so on. So really happy with today's results, really happy with the fact that it actually moves and works. I wasn't sure about all that. And appreciate you coming along. Make sure to check out bigbattery.com and save yourself 10% with my promo code. We'll see you next time on Kart Crazy.